This is Michelle from Pet Camp, and today we're going to learn all about what to do if you find a stray dog or cat. I'm here today with Virginia Donohue, Executive Director of San Francisco Animal Care and Control. Virginia, good to see you.
Nice to see you, Michelle.
So tell us a little bit about how long you've been with the organization, what Animal Care and Control's mission is, and what sets you apart from other animal care entities in San Francisco.
So I've been with San Francisco Animal Care and Control for 6 years. Our mission is to care for all animals, domestic and wild. So what sets us apart is that we are the only organization with animal control officers who are on duty from 6 a.m. to midnight to respond to animal emergencies. We are where you go to look for your lost pet. We're the only organization in the city that has all animals. So here you can adopt dogs and cats, but you can also adopt rabbits, guinea pigs. We've got reptiles, we've got birds, we've got anything you can imagine that's domestic that's available for adoption.
So what should you do if you encounter a stray dog or cat?
Okay, so if you encounter a stray dog and you can approach the dog, by all means, and it seems safe, right? The dog's not running into the street. The dog doesn't strike you as especially aggressive or fearful. If you can safely approach the dog, do so. See if you can see any identifying information on their collar, and if you're able to get it in your vehicle, bring it on over here and we will match the dog up with its owner. Most of the dogs who come here, we're able to find their owners and we're able to send them home. If the information is not on the collar, we have scanners and we scan for microchips, and then we research to see if we can find who chipped the animal, who owns the animal. On our new licenses, there's a QR code on the back. And if it's a new license and it says San Francisco Animal Care and Control on it, you can scan it. And if the owner has put in identifying information, you could also just pop it back to the owner's house. A lot of times it's somebody who lives around the corner and doesn't know their dog got out. And then you don't even need to come here. What you should not do is hold onto the animal and try and find the owner yourself if it's not immediately obvious. Because somebody who's lost their dog is frantic, they're calling here, they're looking everywhere, they are not going to know that you have their dog. So if you find a stray cat, it's way more complicated. The dogs are very straightforward. You just bring them here, you're good. So we don't pick up any stray cats unless they are injured or in distress, because research has shown most cats are a block and a half from their houses. And a lot of people have outdoor cats. I think you should keep your cat in your house, but a lot of people don't. They let the cat out, the cat wanders the neighborhood, and the cat knows where it is, and the cat isn't actually lost. Whereas if you pick up the cat and bring him to us, or if we pick up the cat really is then lost. The cat's lost. A cat doesn't have a collar. A lot of them, although they should have microchips, don't. And then the cat and its family are permanently separated. So we don't do that anymore. We used to do it, all animal controls used to do it, but research has shown that's really not in the cat's best interest. But again, if the cat is injured, not eating, in distress in some way, give the cat to us. Now, kittens are an entirely different story. We have a lot of feral cats in the city, and those feral cats give birth every spring. So last year we took in about 800 kittens who were found outside. We brought them in, took care of them, fed them, got them spayed and neutered, and adopted them out to homes. But when you're looking at a group of kittens, you want to make sure that they really are abandoned. Most of the time the mom is still there. And if the mom is still there, the worst thing you can do is separate the kittens from the mom. So you want to wait until you can bring in the entire family once the kittens are weaned, so that's about 4 weeks old, and then they can come here and we can do all that. if you wait for 24 hours and the mom does not come back, then maybe the kittens are abandoned, and you should call us and we can tell you what to do, or we can send an officer out. You can care for them at home, or you can bring them to us and we'll find somebody to care for them.
So, do you always need to surrender a stray dog to animal care and control? Are there rules or regulations in place regarding trying to rehome or even keep that stray animal yourself?
The best thing to do, again, is to bring it here, because this is where people are trained to look for their lost pets. But when you bring it here, if you are interested in adopting the animal, you just tell us at the desk and say, if you don't find the owner, can I adopt this animal? And as long as we feel that the animal meets our medical and behavior criteria, as soon as the stray period is up, we have to hold for 5 days, we'll give you a call and say, come on down, take this dog.
Is there a seasonality to stray animals? Are they more common during certain times of the year over others?
Sure. Kitten season, for example, generally starts April and extends into October. And we see there's a big mass of kittens that comes in and are ready right now around June, and then there's a second high in the beginning of August. So from this year, from June probably deep into October, you'll be able to adopt a kitten here virtually continuously. I mean, right now I have 100 kittens in the shelter, and I have 100 more in foster that are just growing. Great time of year to get a kitten. For wildlife, early in the spring, that's when we have birds falling out of trees and all those exciting developments that we don't have later in the year.
So on that note, what should one do if they find an injured or sick bird, squirrel, or other critter aside from a dog or a cat?
So if you find any wildlife that you feel is sick or injured, by all means give us a call and we'll come out. And one of the most common situations we see, of course, are raccoons that get stuck in things. That happens all year long. Don't try and get the raccoon out. Call us, we'll come out, we'll help figure it out. Raccoon, because they're too agitated to get out of the hole that they're in. If you find a baby bird, that requires a little more finesse, because there is a stage in the bird's development where the birds are supposed to be on the nest. They're testing their muscles, they're learning about their environment, and their parents are up in the nest watching them. But to you and I walking by, it just looks like, oh my gosh, this baby bird is in distress. The baby bird is not in distress. The parents are there. On the other hand, if a bird has no feathers, is lying there, is clearly in trouble, then you could pick that bird up and bring it in. But if you're in any doubt, call us and describe what you're looking at. Because sometimes what you're doing is actually kidnapping the baby from its mom, and you don't want to do that.
So earlier you'd mentioned bringing a stray dog or cat here to be microchipped, to have their pet parent located. Are there other places where someone could take a stray pet to be scanned for a microchip? And if so, what would be the next steps?
You can take a stray animal to virtually any vet. They usually have a scanner, and they'll be able to give you the chip information, so you can contact the chip manufacturer and try and track down the person yourself. Again, it's usually probably easier for you to just bring the animal here, and we'll do all that. And again, if it has one of our new licenses, you can scan it with your phone, and if the guardian has input their information, you can deliver the animal right to its own person.
So sometimes people confuse animal care and control with the SPCA. Can a person surrender a stray to the SPCA?
No, the SPCA does not accept strays. The only thing the SPCA does in that category is they have a community cats program, where if you have feral cats in your neighborhood, you can contact them directly to get those cats spayed and neutered. You can talk to them about any feeding programs they might have and any support they might have for a feral cat colony. That is the only the only area like that they do. But no, you can't bring in your dog. You can't bring in your cat that you can no longer keep. So the other program and service we provide that's distinct to this department is we have an emergency response program. So we have information for what you should do to prepare yourself for an emergency at home. If there is an emergency, for example, a fire, an earthquake, we are the people who respond, who take in the pets who are left homeless in that disaster. When the wildfires are burning around California, we are the people who join the fire department in responding to those out-of-county fires to lend those counties our support, because we know at some point there is going to be a disaster here, and all of the local governments need to work together to protect the people and their animals.
I'd like to thank Executive Director Virginia Donohue for her time today. Thanks so much, Virginia, for those helpful tips.